I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I made the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
I am the sauce.
Who brought the sauce?
I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I got the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
Human nature is a master at making a big mess. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th generation Safer Choice certified dish formula helps remove stuck-on food with one unstoppable pack. That's the power of 7th generation.
I work at Suncommon, and we are here today in Worcester on the north branch of the Winooski River, and we are planting 1,122 trees today.
The pandemic has left us spending less time together, and so this is really a good opportunity to connect with old colleagues and meet new people as well. And one of the reasons we're planting trees is because it does sequester carbon. It is about climate action, and so this is just another way that we get to do that work.
Trees are really important wildlife habitat in river areas, so this is what we call a riparian forest buffer is what we're creating today. In addition to all the wildlife habitats, this is a really good water quality project to slow down water and let some sediment drop out before it gets to the river. I know that planting this one tree might not do a lot, but when all of us work together, we just planted a whole forest, basically. It's really cool.
This is the first adaptive friendly trail network that's being built from design to execution. Suncommon volunteers are here tonight, as well as some new volunteers from all around.
If you make a trail that rides well for an adaptive bike, it's going to ride well for two-wheeled bikes as well.
My name is Greg Durso, and I'm riding the Reactive Adaptations Hammerhead. There's a lot of common misconceptions when it comes to what adaptive or accessible trails are. For us though, when we say accessible, it just means enough room for our bikes to get down it. So we don't want our trails dumbed down, we just want them just a little bit wider, a little bit more attainable for us to use. I'm paralyzed, I'm a T4 paraplegic, so I can't walk. So this bike enables me to get out there and start riding. When I get out of my wheelchair and I get into my bike, I kind of feel like Superman, and I love that feeling. It gets me into places that I can never get into that my wheelchair can't take me.
Suncommon has been an amazing partner in this project. We already surpassed the point that we thought we would reach by the end of the season, and a lot of that's just thanks to Suncommon.
It takes a community, it takes a lot of people to be out there, and you're really doing good for everyone. You're sustaining these trails, making new trails, making mountain biking more accessible for everybody.
The goal here is net zero, so all of the energy consumed here I want to come from the roof, and I chose Suncommon very specifically. This is just a smarter way to buy energy. All my yard equipment is electric and battery operated. I mean, every morning when I come out now, I look back and I go, yep, that sunlight is falling from the sky and that energy is being put into that car as we speak, which, I don't know, doesn't get much cooler. Riding on sunshine.
The beauty of grass is that you have to look at it as every blade of grass being a solar panel. And that grass is absorbing sun's energy the entire time there's sun out.
Being a small farm, we don't have the scale of cash flows that a lot of larger farms have. So for us to be able to stay in business, it's important that we are able to utilize every one of our spaces as efficiently and as profitably as we can. Our rooftops were something that really hadn't served us any purpose, but now that they can actually produce the amount of electricity that we need to run the farm, that's just, it was a no-brainer. Dairy is something that I can firmly stand behind. I believe that it is very nutritious, very good for you, and done right, I believe that it's also good for the environment.
I think we're at the point now that it'd be crazy not to have solar. When we decided that we were going to use a commercial company instead of doing it ourselves, which was an option, I did research on SunCommon, because I don't know that I trust lots of solar power companies. And you know, it's a big project. There's so many things that can go wrong. I wanted a company that I felt good about.
We're filming.
We understand what local issues are.
Other credit unions might offer like the VHFA and the Champlain Housing Trust, but it's cool that we have our own product.
It's called home ownership made easier. It essentially gets somebody into a house who does not have a down payment. There's a lot of lenders who are not willing to take a look at the type of transactions that are going in there. But the fact is Vermonters live in those communities.
Every second, Vermonters spend $20 with Amazon. That's $20 going to someone you don't know and will never meet. You are just an order number to Amazon. $20 every second. That means every minute, Vermonters are spending $1,100 with Amazon. You might as well throw it in the trash. It's time to change. Let's keep this $1,100 in our Vermont economy. Mighty is an online shopping platform that keeps money in the local community. You order things, it comes from independent retailers nearby, it's dropped to your doorstep. Together, we can change online shopping for good. Visit Mighty, MYTI.com to get started.
You can make progress by doing the things you love.
If you can farm, fight food deserts. If you can surf, surf for racial justice. Like to read? Start a banned book club. Protest with an ice cream cone or project new meaning on an outdated statue. Get in a costume, but try not to get arrested. You have the tools for doing good, and the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
Make some mother truckin' change.
Human nature's ability to contain itself is questionable. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th Generation's bio-based detergent goes deep to help break apart and wash away tough stains. That's the power of 7th Generation. Human nature's ability to contain itself is questionable. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th Generation's bio-based detergent goes deep to help break apart and wash away tough stains. That's the power of 7th Generation.
only recently. There is a trophy on the line from Burlington, Vermont. Virtue Field is the setting. Vermont Green FC hosting CS Saint-Laurent in the inaugural Maple Cup. Brian McLaughlin and Matt Montel with you. Matt, this is a really fun day, a friendly between two semi-professional clubs, and the Maple Cup for the first time ever up for grabs. Two teams that both can play at a really high level, meeting for the first time at this friendly type of competition. Should be a really exciting evening.
The illustrious Maple Cup, sir. I got a glimpse of the, I believe it's the new one, freshly made. It's beautiful.
Indeed. Two teams separated by 75 miles. The Maple Cup, if you're wondering, is made out of maple wood from a maple tree, designed here locally in Vermont, and it should be a day between two sides, Matt, that obviously friendly, that has a certain context and connotation to it, not necessarily battling for points in their leagues, but there's a trophy on the line.
Right.
Adds a little something to it.
Well, as you know, the home team, and especially Maple being our staple of our economic health, we're going to want to retain that trophy, but obviously Laurent's going to want to come in and actually potentially take that from us.
This Laurent team are the reigning League One Quebec champions. A year ago, they went 18-3-1, 55 points. They won the league by 10. And Matt, a really fun dynamic to this. A few guys in the Vermont Green FC squad came up as Laurent prospects, highlighted by Jan Tuale. We're going to talk about Tuale more in a few minutes, but this is a really familiar Vermont Green side with Laurent. They know this team and they know this community with three different Montreal natives playing for Vermont Green FC today. Just adds to this even more. Two teams separated closely by geographical standards and two teams that have both played at a really high level in a relatively short time in existence adds even more to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd always known that Montreal was kind of like a hotbed of soccer anyways. There's a really, really good pool of players right now developing over the last couple of years in that area, but I actually hadn't known until you told me that Tuale was from the actual club itself, and what we had seen of him come on as a substitute in the last home match, I was really impressed. I understand that the match was kind of wrapped up at that point. I think it was like 4-0 potentially at that point.
He scored the fifth, yeah.
Yeah, but he came on and he performed, and you got to take whatever time that you can get and prove it to the staff, the coaching staff, that, hey, maybe think about me to start the next match for it. So this is another opportunity for him.
Playing against many of his former teammates with CS Saint-Laurent. Let's meet their starting 11. It's a group that, it's an interesting way they set up, Matt. The lineup, we were told, they're going to play a 3-2-4-1. So a lot of numbers forward in the attack, headlined by number 99, Rickson Aristilda. And then they have four attacking midfielders in theory. It's going to be a lot of numbers thrown towards that Vermont defense, right? It could be a really different type of style that we haven't seen Vermont face.
I know you think I know everything, but I'm not going to pretend to know exactly how a 3-2-4-1 looks defensively. We'll see in the first maybe like 10-15 minutes if it's going to be one of those two that sits in front of the three that drops in and almost makes it maybe a back four, or if it actually shifts over and maybe one of those front four beneath like that center forward, do they drop in really wide and they play almost as kind of a hybrid wing back? And so if the ball's on the left side, you see the right side drop in a little bit to cover that, far post area, but we'll see.
It's no mystery how Vermont Green FC are going to line up. The 4-2-3-1 has become the staple under Adam Pfeiffer, but a couple of changes stand out immediately when you look at this 11.
Yeah. So looking at Ibrahim, we saw a little bit of Ibrahim. I thought he was very lively. I thought he was very quick. I thought he was actually way more tenacious for his size. He's not exactly like a large, imposing player for it, but I really liked him on the ball. We've already talked about Twali a little bit from here. I'm really, we already know kind of the character and caliber of O'Neal.
Oh, yeah.
Leibovitz, I think that's just such a good dynamic to have Leibovitz. And then, Bazzini, being able to rotate between those two strikers, they have a lot of similarities between them. I think Bazzini maybe draws the foul a little bit better, maybe a tiny bit better out of the air, but otherwise Leibovitz does a really good job of playing with his back to goal, so he's going to try to bring up that three just beneath him as well. It's going to be interesting also to see Combi and Pacella together. I don't know if we've seen that partnership in the middle of the field, so I assume that it's going to be just fine, especially with Pacella kind of probably going to sit a little bit, deeper, and Combi, he seems like a little bit more of an attacking player, so maybe he'll be more as like kind of an 8, front and back, front and back.
Then that back four, Nathan Simeon, is another Montreal native, grew up as a CS Saint-Laurent product. He's transferring to UVM this fall, where he'll play with Sebastian Gebhardt. Gebhardt making his first start in a green uniform. He appeared off the bench against Pathfinder FC over the weekend. Stuart Drexler and Reed Fisher set in front of Jaheim Wickham. I know it's going to be interesting, Matt. Such a great Vermont Green defensive record this year. It's really been the strength of this team. That back four is a little bit different than what we've seen, but really experienced group of players lining up in front of Wickham.
Well, the key in that back four, I understand that all four are quality players, but Fisher, to me, although he's not wearing the captain's armband, he, to me, acts as a captain. I've said it many different times in many different matches that I constantly see him scanning. I constantly see him talking to his goalkeeper, talking to his back line, talking to the players in front of him, shifting left and right, telling them to get forward, telling them to drop, to mark. He, to me, is going to be the organizer, from the back of the field.
Well, this Vermont Green FC side, Matt, they sit at 8-1-2, 26 points, technically second in the current Northeast Division standings. Actually, Western Mass picking up a win earlier today, move into second, so they're now at 28 points, even on matches played with Seacoast and Vermont. What a finish we have coming up to the season with 3 matches to go.
Absolutely tight. I was saying off air, it's squeaky bum time. Now it's basically you've got to gather as many points. I understand this is a friendly, but you got to treat it almost as if it's actually like, a season match. Like, this has to be treated exactly the same so that your standards don't drop off once the league comes back into play.
It's a really interesting dynamic. Currently, Vermont Green, and remember that points per match statistic goes a long way in the playoff qualification process. Comparing the Northeast Division third-place team to the Metro Division third-place team, currently Vermont Green would have the edge. Both Hudson Valley SC and Manhattan SC sitting at 2.1 points per match. Vermont at 2.36, with 3 matches remaining against the other of the top 4 sides. Man, I am just licking my chops for this finish.
It's going to be a tough end to the season for it, but you know what? It's not only going to be tough for Vermont. It's going to be tough for everyone else. It's going to be tough for Western Mass. It's going to be tough for Seacoast as well. And I'm actually really looking forward to Seacoast coming to Vermont for that match, because everything that we had heard about that match when they had gone down to Seacoast was that it was maybe a 10-minute lapse from what I understood, that it was just, listen, it was 10 minutes, concentration levels dropped by 5-10%, whatever it is, we paid for it. But outside of that, it was a very even match, and it could have gone either way from there. So I'm very curious with that home field advantage, is it going to possibly be that, that little difference maker?
Vermont may be resting some of their big-time studs today, Matt. No Musa Ndiaye in the starting 11. Yaniv Bazzini available off the bench, but not starting. What could today's match get them into form, maybe with Seacoast looming on Sunday? There are plenty of regulars still performing for the Green today and dressed maybe even not in the starting 11. How could today's match prepare Vermont? They're playing a really quality side. Is there anything that could help them today to get them ready for Sunday?
I do think we'll probably see, since it is a friendly, there will be substitutions and there will be a rotation later on in the match from there. I don't think it's going to be this starting 11 for 90 minutes in total, but I also think that, whilst it is a short season, there are like some miles racking up on the legs of Bazzini, like the likes of those starters for Zenge or, even Ndiaye. So sure. I think it's a good thing to actually give them a little bit of rest. They had just played a match a couple days ago from there. So no problem with that, but I do think that they'll probably see maybe 20 minutes just to stay a little bit, sharp on the ball.
There's a look at the Vermont Green FC side. Some other highlights. Mohamed Ibrahim, the rising freshman at VCU, his first time starting in the 11. Same as Sebastian Gebhardt, while Nathan Simeon, Jan Twali, and Daniel Pacella The Montreal natives performing now in their adopted summer home of Burlington, Vermont. And how about another stunning crowd on this July 3rd, the day before Independence Day? Fireworks happening down on the Burlington waterfront later on this evening. What a great night for soccer we've got once again.
Good night to be in Burlington, I can tell you that.
Just a bit of breeze, maybe more than a bit of breeze, rippling those Green Mountain Boy flags.
Oh, we've got a live look at the trophy here. It's coming a little closer to us. That is a nice-looking trophy.
Sure
I haven't
is.
seen a wooden one before.
The wooden maple cup.
Yeah.
There it is. Look at it
Look
right
at
on
that.
the screen. With green and orange, white and blue, the colors of both Vermont Green and Laurent, highlighting that gorgeous maple cup.
I think now that the players have seen it in person, they're going to want it a little bit more now.
Oh, I want to chug some maple syrup out of that thing. Let me add it.
Right?
Both teams set to get kickoff underway. Vermont Green FC unbeaten in their last 5. They have won 3 in a row. 3 league matches in a row. If you include the women's match victory, it's 4 consecutive wins for the Green here at Virtue Field. Jaheim Wickham in net, racing back in the maple-colored uniform today between the pipes for Vermont Green.
And you know, I just wanted to point out, you and I were talking about it, it's gotten a little bit windy this evening, so it's going to be interesting to see those long balls up in the air, if depending on which side it's coming from, if it's going to hang up. If we're going towards the stadium itself, it feels like you as a center back trying to judge where that's landing, position yourself correctly, it might be a little difficult tonight.
It is, as you look at the screen in this stadium, blowing right to left quite briskly as we talk to you. Might be able to even hear some of that picked up in our microphones. It will be the visitors, CS Saint-Laurent, to get it underway. Laurent, they're coming off a loss against Royal Beauport on Sunday, currently sitting in 3rd in their own division of the Quebec version League One in Canada. Underway, the first ever Maple Cup between Vermont Green FC and CS Saint-Laurent. It is the visitors to get things started. And already the deep ball taken out of the air by Fisher towards Pacella back in a green uniform. And now to this back 3 formation.
And you can immediately see that ball, that long ball that was under pressure from Leibovitz, just trying to go over. Fisher didn't even have to move. It just got hung up, so that's something to maybe watch for.
Nicholas Minchillo, one of the 2 central mids. Minchillo picks it back up, has to hustle it away from Ibrahim. The back 3 are Cedric Adamu, Abdul Sakande, and Nathan Goulet. That's Goulet, the left-sided center back, plays it forward towards Josue Yuta.
It's a good collective team press that we just saw there, forcing them to switch over to the side, and then you see like a bad touch from it. Ball goes out. Green has possession now.
Ryan Combe to his University of Vermont Catamount teammate Sebi Gebhardt, the 24-year-old German. Plays it back for Fisher, and here's Wickham.
And so it seems that Wickham, correct me if I'm wrong, he's probably going to now be the starting goalkeeper for likely the remainder of the season.
Francesco Montali getting a contract with Minnesota United FC2. The Green are in potentially. Leibovitz, the one on the run. Tries to get it across. Ibrahim picks it up. The man they call Mo Ibra.
Well defended from Laurent, though. Way to get back in position.
Pacella keeps control through Combe. And
I like
Combe,
the idea.
He was looking for O'Neal, too much on it. Well, this is a really interesting group of attackers today. We talked kind of showing you the starting lineup. We know what Jan Toile brings. He's now scored in 2 straight league matches. The former Laurent product playing on the left-hand side of Ibra. And Xavi O'Neal with his lightning-quick pace to the right, all sitting beneath Leibovitz.
I was going to say, the one thing, out of all of it is the absolute pace of that 3, just beneath Leibovitz.
Canusi slides it for Josue Yuta. Yuta's cross deflected by Drexler. It's laid back by the captain. That's Wes Wanje. The Green trying to play out of the back. Wickham. No nonsense ball there. Deep, handled by Adamu. Nicholas Minchillo again given room to turn away from Ibra. Canusi, who's working on this right wing of that 4 attacking midfielders. Canusi's wide to the right. Wanja and Yuta are in the middle, and Obeng Tabi labeled for the left-hand side.
Do me a favor, pronounce it one more time for me. Number 44.
44 is Nicholas Minchilla.
Minchilla. He's done a really good job right now scanning. He's actually has almost 3 players at a time within 10, 15 feet around him, and he's scanning constantly because he's looking to turn. He doesn't want to pass backwards if he doesn't have to.
Their goalie is Peter Scucciamari. Tried to play it deep towards, again, the captain, that's Wanje. Brought down by Mamadou Kane. He's able to find the left winger, Tabi. Bang Tabi on the move. The captain, Wanje, plays it into the path of Yuta. Yuta cuts it inside where he faces both Gebhardt and Pacella. And Gebhardt forcing them backwards. That's a strike from distance that doesn't test Wickham. Came from Kane.
I think Fisher and Drexler will take that all day. They say, go ahead, try your chances from there. But immediately noticing the Laurent, their technical level on the ball is actually really impressive.
This is a really high-quality side.
Match, I think.
Their 3rd year in their current division, League 1 in Quebec. Again, they were champions last year of their division in just year 2.
I'm not surprised at this point now.
They absolutely blitzed the competition last year. 55 points. Second place had 45.
55.
In a 22-game season. 18 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
This year they're a bit more of a battle. Just 5 wins. They've collected 19 points across 11 matches, so not quite the same domination of League 1 Quebec. Wickham, who plays collegiately for Syracuse.
That ball just getting carried over. You could see Leibovitz, he thought that it was going to drop right there, but it just carried just another 3 or 4 feet.
That's Goulet, who's in the middle of Sakande and Adamu. Yeah, that's going to be a whole different impact tonight. You're right. That wind.
Yep. It's going to play its part.
Sakande coming out wide. Goulet picked off by Combi.
Well read by Combi.
Can Pacella find a ball forward? It's Mo Ibra.
Ooh.
Dancing. Ibra.
Ooh.
This is Jan Tuwali against his former club. Big time save by Scucciamari.
Really well done from Ibrahim, though. Well read by Combi to read where the pass was going to get that, but then Pacella giving it straight to Ibrahim, and it looked like he was just going to switch the play, but he actually cuts back, and he finds an even better pass.
So Tuwali, who had a really good look. And again, the visitors, Laurent turning it over. It's Ibra, the 18-year-old who's headed to VCU this fall. But more on Tuwali, again, this is a guy, he wore the number 10 for Laurent last year. He was one of their stars. Hasn't quite factored into Vermont Green at points this season. Caught a bit of a nick mid-year.
There's been some really good players in that position so far, this season.
Yeah.
Between Zengi and then Gatto. I mean, it's tough to kind of displace either one of them.
We've had Castro in recent days pick up some real time. Xavi O'Neal is featured. Ernest Bawa early in the year was getting a load of minutes. It's been hard to break into the Green attacking midfield, but Tuwali of late has started to find his form, scoring in the last 2. And Matt, a fun note this season, Tuwali wearing the number 64. That's actually in honor of the bus line, number 64, that runs through Montreal.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So a connection to his hometown.
Nice. I like those little details.
Learned that one today. Thank you to the Vermont Green FC website. One of those great match previews. There's a first look at the striker, Aristilde. And they're able to work it through for Wanja. Can't get by Gebhardt. Brought back in Kane. Scaramucci really dancing with it away from Leibovitz.
Yeah, and you could just see Gebhardt. He wanted to push up a little bit higher. I saw the mark that he was trying to read, but he had 2 players, and if it skips past him, then it's going to be a foot race with Fisher, who I would put my money on. But you don't really want to get your center backs out in open field in a foot race most of the time.
Simi's able to pick it. He wins it back. Has some runners to either side. Nathan Simeon. Xavi O'Neal in room. He's got Tuwali at the back post, but it's O'Neal taking it himself.
Ooh,
what a run!
And
O'Neal.
that is a penalty.
Penalty kick earned for the green. Xavi O'Neal. What an individual effort.
A nice dance through the box. I honestly thought, I was like, somebody's going to get a foot on that, but really well done from him.
Inside of 10 minutes, and it's O'Neal who sets the ball down.
Let's take another look at this. Just keeps it just underneath his body and shifts it. It's so difficult for a defender to get a foot on that ball, especially if you're able to keep it so close and underneath you.
O'Neal, who just worked his way by 4 defenders in league play. He's got a goal and 3 assists on the season. The youngster from Boston College. Peter Scucciamari between the pipes for Laurent. Xavi O'Neal on target, easily done, and O'Neal puts the green in front to the Maple Cup.
One finger on the Maple Cup, Brian.
That was as clean as you like.
Yeah, you gave him the eyes. You could see that he just, shimmied a little bit and then went right side. It's a good penalty.
Well, Xavi O'Neal, an early bright spot.
And right there, just before, it almost looks like he's about to shoot it to the left. Well done.
It's the second goal for Xavi O'Neal in his green career. And a great start for the green. Not that they've necessarily dominated in the opening minutes, right? It's felt like it's been relatively even, but just one individual flash from the man they call Xavi is the difference right now.
Yeah, I think there was, Twali had a shot at one point.
Yep.
It was just earlier, about a couple minutes before it. But outside of that, that's been the only edge, is maybe shots on target, getting the goalkeeper's hands working. But yeah, from the center of the field, I haven't noticed necessarily either team completely dominating.
It was Kane who committed the foul and the penalty on O'Neal. This is Mamadou Kane, the big body in the middle, partnering right here with the really technically sound Nicholas Minchillo.
He seems to be the one that's trying to dictate the play for Laurent.
I think so too.
Trying to connect the defense to the attack.
Ibra trying to nip it from Kane. This is Yuta. Kane and Adamu.
And again, not a lot of space for Laurent to get forward, to pass it out of the back. Green doing a really good job of just sucking the air out of the area.
Combe able to step in front of Wanja. Kane, now his turn to stride forward. Combe trying to recover. Wide it goes. This is Canusi to the back post. Couldn't quite hit the target. Alan Canusi on his right foot. There's some of those numbers really getting forward.
Yeah, and I thought Simeon was just a little bit too tight. I didn't think he needed to be so close to Drexler there. And you could see that there was a wide open pass to the, to his left from there. But well done from Laurent. That was a really good chance.
Their biggest chance thus far falls to Canusi. Goulet allows the ball to bounce away from Leibovitz, and Adamu puts it back to the turf. Ibra is all over those midfielders right now. He's giving Minchillo all he can handle.
I think after 12 minutes now, I think it's appropriate to say that I'd like to see Leibovitz maybe get on the ball just a little bit more. I think if you get him on the ball, you start to bring up, the attacking three when in possession a lot better.
One back by Kane, swung to the left side from Sekande to Adamu. He rolls it to the feet of Obeng Tabi. Now Twali applying the pressure. Adamu steps into the midfield. Tries to play 1-2 with Aristilde. And Minchillo's found a wide area with some room. Aristilde, the striker, tackled by Combe. It was good defensive work from Combe. We theorized that more of an attacking style of midfielder, but he did well on that challenge.
Maybe I did him a disservice because I do know that he has some tenacity to him and good defensive work about him.
Leibovitz had it for a moment, but not for long. There's Combe again on Aristilde, and he's able to nip it from him, can't control it. Adamu plays it back to Scucciamari.
And again, good shape from Green. It's been really difficult. You know, they're limiting them to those type of passes that they have to play it in the air to try to get it to one of their front four in order to try to break through that line.
Has the feeling of two sides that, to me right now, really respect the way the other can break them down. Both not necessarily full throttle out of the gates. It's been a lot of passing through the midfield.
No, I don't think either one is going to come in with a lot of heat, you know, so to speak. I don't think it's going to be a blood and thunder match by any means. Who knows? You know, somebody might do something a little reckless, and that kind of, you know, irks the rest of the team, and you want to get one back. But I just can't see it. I think this is more of a really good, good friendly, you know, match. It is a friendly.
You never know with the Maple Cup on the line, but here goes Xavi O'Neal, the early standout and the goal scorer. He's looked a class above in moments so far. Gebhardt and Combe. Stuart Drexler. Now Nathan Simeon. The boys call him Simi. Defended well by Canusi, who's got the best chance so far. But he gets rid of it. Combe. Combe! He loves that spot.
And we've seen him score from there as well.
You could see as he picked it up, my heart started beating a little bit.
Oh, he had time, too, to measure that. He's upset with himself because he knows he can do better.
Poor turnover here.
Yeah, it's a bad giveaway, especially don't give it away there, right there at the top of the box. And, yeah, knowing, you know, Combe's caliber, you would think that he'd actually put that on target.
Minchillo again finding the pass forward. Spread wide by Wanje. Obeng Tabi.
I think if you can keep Minchillo very limited, or at least keep his head down, you know, make it so that he can only take 1-2 touches, I think that kind of eliminates some of the creativity playing out of the back from there. So, you know, try to force him to play it backwards or try to force him to play it sideways.
All right, slowly working their way up the pitch. They've been very composed and patient. There's Minchillo again, spreading it wide.
And I mean, look at all the green shirts right here. There's no passing lanes at this time.
It's become a staple of this Vermont Green side, the defense and their commitment to it.
Well, I remember the first season when we were trying to pick Adam's brain a little bit about his philosophy of how to play and how do you approach such a short season. You know, it's like, well, how much time can you train on certain things? Like, how much are you training on set pieces? How much do you train in, you know, different attacking variations and all that stuff? He's like, honestly, you have to really work on your defensive shape and your defensive quality first. He's like, and then the goals will generally start to come. You know, you can work on those, but he's like, defend first, get the goals after.
Good look there, potentially for O'Neal, but Combe's ball just too much on it after the green. We're able to force a turnover. Minchillo has some time. Canusi, 1-2, Kane.
Very nice.
Canusi trying to spray it. You could see the idea there from Aristilldet.
I kind of wanted to see him pull it off, honestly.
Couldn't quite drag it with him.
It's a friendly. I want to see him pull it off.
He's a big presence as that central striker. Xavi O'Neal, lightning fast. Couldn't get it by Adamu.
That's well done from Laurent there.
And now
and
Drexler
like
in a tangling match. It is. So Drexler dragging Josue Yuta to the floor. Just for a moment, the Norwegian was caught there. Escapes without a booking, but
call it a professional foul.
I think he knew exactly what he was doing, didn't he?
I'm just going to take you to ground.
He's a big boy. Hard to get past Drexler once he decides that. Twali reads the play nicely, but it's recovered by Wes Wanja, the former teammate of Twali.
And now, there you go. I wanted to see, is Twali going to join up? Because Combe's putting that first initial pressure, but the rest of the team needs to join with him.
Pacella wins it back after Leibovitz started the press.
And it's that high press that forces you, those errors, like basically those errant passes from there. You make them play quickly, make them play a little bit erratic. It's difficult to do that for 90 minutes. It's tiring. It takes a lot of energy to perform that way the entire match. But that's something that we've seen throughout the whole season that, Adam, this is definitely something that he wants to see out of his team.
Simi, Twali, Drexler. Gebhardt can play both right back and center back, able to wiggle it through O'Neal.
Yeah, way to get out of trouble.
Leibovitz trying to put the ball in towards Twali. Headed away from danger by Sikande, and then it was dealt with by Canusi.
Well done from Pacello there.
Combi has been finding some good spots in the midfield.
I would say Combi's probably touched the ball the most out of almost everyone. Maybe Twali, but outside of that, I think Combi has just been absolutely all over the field.
Getting a chance to start. Combi's made one league start. He's come off the bench 4 times in league play. An original member of the Green from 3 seasons ago. Twali. Can hear Adam Pfeiffer tell Reed Fisher, move that ball.
It's kind of funny, too. I applaud it because, he wants to see it if you can do it in 1-2 touch at the most. But I was, right as he said that, I was kind of like, oh, this is a good spell of possession. Just keep the ball. It's tiring to have to keep chasing after this. Pressure, go. It's like, all right.
Gebhardt unable to keep it. Here is Still Day, brings it down, but Combe wrenches it back. Now Mo Ibra. Twali. He and Ibra 1-2ing. Simi joins in on the party. Again, the youth product of Laurent is Nathan Simeon.
Well done for Pacello. It was a difficult ball.
Gebhardt took a bump from the big man, Aristilda.
It's good defensive shape from Laurent, though. They haven't, Vermont's had possession, but they haven't been able to create, a shot on goal from it yet.
Really, the 2 Vermont chances, one came from a great individual effort by O'Neal, and then a turnover from Laurent allowed the Twali chance.
And you could say that was within that time period of the match where it's kind of like teams are getting warmed up. They're starting to get their rhythm. They're starting to get the weight of the pass, everything like that.
Xavi O'Neal carried it for a while, but he turns it over. But it's given right back. Here goes Twali. He's got Combe with him. Twali couldn't find the pass. Both Leibovitz and Combe were making the runs.
You could see him looking for it, and you could see Leibovitz holding his hand out. He wanted to see if he could put that behind that defender that was just looking at him. I don't think Twali saw that opening.
Twali trying to win it back. Yeah. Well handled by Kane.
And here's Simeon's got a bump now. Want to see Drexler push him out a little bit. There you go.
Plenty of time for Sikande. Minchillo.
I'm not sure what I heard. Fisher was saying that's a red ref, but I didn't see what had possibly happened.
And a great tackle from Fisher away from Josue Utah.
And you can see him having words with the referee now. Just very curious to see what had happened. Something out of view that we couldn't see, but Fisher is adamant about it.
He did not like something, I think, in an exchange with the central striker, Rickson Aristilda.
Yeah.
But it's a great tackle there on a really good move forward. Patient approach from Laurent. Headed over to take it. With the right foot, it looks like Alan Canusi. He's had the best chance thus far for CS Saint-Laurent. Dragging it wide of Jaheim Wickham.
It's going to be a little difficult with this wind that's going to push it out, too. It's going to slow it down as it goes in. See it hang up there?
Really floating to the back post, but headed back across into a dangerous spot. And the shot from distance, it's a goal! It's Minchillo.
What are we noticing, offsides?
Flag is up.
Flag is up.
Minchillo deposits it into the back of the net. But was the man in front of Wickham, Matt? He might have been offsides, providing a bit of a screen.
He was screening him, so we have been seeing that, like even like the highest level. If you're impeding, basically the vision or the play of the goalkeeper like that, and you're in an offsides position, then it's the correct call.
But there's Minchillo.
But that's something to take note of. Minchillo, he's I think been their best player so far.
Off a deflection, Fisher for Ibra. Pacella can't get rid of it quickly enough. Plenty of space for Wanja. And now the striker. Still just handled by Wickham. Another corner.
Laurent's starting to get their chances now. That you're seeing a little shift in momentum of the match.
Vermont Green FC's goal, a Xavi O'Neal penalty kick that he earned. The captain, Wanja Ferreira, still to there, forcing action from Wickham. This time it's going to be the man we thought had scored, Nicholas Minchillo, to take the corner. That's a dangerous one.
And again, it falls out.
Tracked down by Wanja. Tries to whip it to the back post. Good effort.
Not a bad effort at all.
Sakande was arriving. Look at the whip on this one.
Right. And the idea is correct. It's almost that he just judges it, the player on the left, number 4, if he just takes a step maybe just a little earlier, he might actually get to that.
That's the captain, Wes Wanja. Leibovitz lays it off Gebhardt, and the Green have numbers. Sebi, Gebhardt, men in the middle, towards Toile. Leibovitz takes it, and Leibovitz buries it.
With authority.
Gebhardt, the big-time run, and Leibovitz on target makes it 2.
And that is an absolutely perfect counterattack from there. Just an absolute dagger, Brian.
Look at all these numbers.
And I like that Leibovitz actually took the ball. It almost seemed like it was the weight of the pass was supposed to go to Twali. Leibovitz said, absolutely not, I got this.
He has now scored 5 on the season. Back-to-back games for Leibovitz where he's found Twine. How about that run, though, from Gebhardt, the right back getting all the way forward. He'll get the assist.
Yeah, really well done.
Another veteran that Adam Pfeiffer's added. Gebhardt, who's played some big-time games for the University of Vermont, has only appeared in 1 league game, but another option along the back line with Gabe Threadgold, with Benny Prego. Just keep adding on to some of those talented spots.
Well, that's the thing that I almost applaud the most is the recruiting and like the actual entire squad that Adam and his staff put together. That they identify these players, and it always seems like there's never really a steep drop off when you see a rotation.
And now off the ball, Jacob Leibovitz.
And I had noticed that earlier. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to put it out in the universe, Brian, but I had seen him limping after that, and it seemed like maybe that run just got him a little.
Athletic trainer Kate Harney out to talk to Leibovitz, the Virginia Tech product, a 25-year-old who's made a home here in Burlington.
And it's not good if there's no contact for that limp, where that injury is coming from. So I think that's going to be his night.
Just hasn't looked quite right in a little bit, even after or before the goal he scored.
Well, let's hope it's quick. I didn't see anything weird happen for that goal. It might have just been the run. He might have just pulled something a little bit, tweaked something, maybe his ankle. We'll find out later.
Immediately, Carlos Zambrano is up and loosening for the Green along the sideline.
And I think it'll be almost certain that he's going to be substituted off at this point, just to take precaution, especially since it's a friendly.
Yeah, he is.
He might be able to recover in time, at some point.
That's the question I was about to ask you.
Well, it depends on what it is, but it didn't look like it was hamstring. Didn't see him holding the hamstring. Hamstring is usually 3 weeks at minimum, depending on, kind of the tear, but could just be a little something with his ankle maybe.
We've talked a lot about his ability to play off Bazzini, both off the bench and when they're out there together.
It looks like he's asking Adam if he can come back on. Be a warrior about it and keep going, but don't stress it too much.
Meanwhile, a foul behind the play has brought it back. Mo Ibra went in for a challenge and caught a pretty good piece of Kane. So Leibovitz going to try to tough it out at least for a bit while Zambrano warms up.
I think that's kind of the goal is like, okay, I'm good enough to at least kind of like knock the ball around and I can put a little bit of pressure here and there, but I think we'll see Zambrano in a couple minutes.
Really nicely down the line was Wanja. Combe trying to chase. Wanja enters the penalty area. Wanja centers it. Just touched wide. It's Aristilda again, the striker. Shoulder to shoulder with Fisher. Another good look for Laurent.
Really good run down the wing and way to get to find the pass for that shot off. It was just barely just outside of that post.
They have come close to both testing and beating Wickham a few times.
Knocking.
Well, Fisher dealing with Aristilda. And Wickham using that breeze comfortably back across midfield. Pretty good touch there from Leibovitz.
That's what he's in there to do right now.
Here goes Xavi O'Neal. Very direct charge. Looked like he tried to feed it wide to Gebhardt. Took a tumble. Felt he got pushed. No call. How about that from Combe? Combe just unable to beat Goulet.
I don't know if I want Leibovitz to take a shot with his potentially injured ankle again.
But now over the head of Simi. It's brought down by Canusi. Good recovery from Nathan
Really well
Simeon.
done. Just shirked him off so easily. But there is a bit of a size difference.
Simeon, the 24-year-olds. That's Toile unable to bring it down.
I don't think we're allowed to translate what he said in French there.
I don't know how to translate what he said in French.
I don't think it was anything appropriate.
Okay. You would know better than me. Space for Wanja. He's finding some good pockets as the number 10. Plays it through Aristilda. Well read by Drexler. Oh, now plenty of space for Ibra. O'Neal drew the defense in. Leibovitz, early ball towards Toile. Not quite the right angle. Scucciamari, the first one to it, and he outlets it to Canusi.
I like that he tried to do it early, though. I think if he held on to it any longer, that pass is off.
And now Simi's won the ball for the green. They're on the front foot. And a foul against Goulet. Free kick in a dangerous spot for the green.
And whilst Laurent have had some chances on goal now, they've looked threatening at different times. There's been some careless giveaways, and I think the attention span has gone down just a little bit.
You got a foul there?
Yeah, I guess.
Goulet reaches in and just catches Simi.
You know me. I got to see a battle axe.
And then some.
Yeah, and then some.
Matt Montel loves a good challenge. Vermont Green have loved themselves a goal in this opening half. Xavi O'Neal has maybe been their brightest man is placing this. He scored with his right foot from the penalty spot. Almost looks like he's setting it up for his left here. No, now he's moving to his right. Okay.
He's got the wind at his back, too. And it is it's just the right amount of distance out.
It will be O'Neal. Can he beat Scucciamari again? Just couldn't quite get the bend.
Oh, that's a bad giveaway.
Mo Ibra with Minchillo, shoulder to shoulder. Almost fortunate not to give up another penalty.
It seems like just continuous moments and lapses of concentration from Laurent, and it's just a little uncharacteristic from what we saw from the first, maybe 30 minutes of the match.
We wondered what would it look like with 4 attacking midfielders. Well, the defense has looked a bit lonesome at times, right?
Yeah, no, they've looked exposed.
Combe almost weaving it for Simi. Canusi, Minchillo, Wanja beats Pacella inside, and now the break could be on for Laurent. He puts it back out towards Aristilda to the byline. Aristilda keeps it in play. To his left foot on Drexler. Aristilda intercepted by Pacella. Kane scoops it back up. Clatters into Combe. And it's a goal kick for the green off of Kane last.
And yeah, just taking a look at this. He just maybe sits back just a little bit. No, not too much.
Not all that far
just
off.
Needs a little bit more whip on it, but might be another chance later on in the match.
The way Xavi O'Neal's playing, I think he just might have at least another chance or two. Last 10 minutes of this one, Matt, have felt pretty open. Both teams giving some chances up. And relatively end-to-end action.
You know, I'm okay with it for a friendly. I would say I would rather see a lot more domination and control if it was a regular season match, but
Leibovitz trying to free O'Neal.
Again, even with some of those chances, none of them have been necessarily like really open, glaring chances that required an amazing save from Wickham. They've been kind of almost like, I'm going to dictate what type of shot, or it's going to have to be almost scuffed because you're going to have to do it really quickly. So I'd say there still is some credit to give to, Green's defensive work so far.
Obeng Tabi. Again, not quite on target from an awkward angle, pretty wide out.
Yeah, again, limiting to saying, all right, if you want to get a shot off, since you kind of have the beat a little bit by a foot, it's like it's going to have to be pretty out wide.
O'Neal unable to control it. It's a throw-in for Adamu. Simi can't keep it.
Good tackle.
Aristilda trying to lob it towards Obeng Tabi, but Pacella recovering.
Really important touch from Pacella there.
Thoughts on Pacella so far? It's his first game in a green uniform in a while.
Honestly, I haven't really seen him put a foot wrong. I think it's been a little bit quiet, but that's kind of his role, is to make sure to retain the ball, win it back when you're off the ball, and he's had a couple really good forward passes to Ibrahim we saw earlier from there. He's just doing his job.
Gebhardt some defensive work to do, and Combe rises up to meet it. Twale gets it away. Goulet playing almost
touch.
Sweeper. Leibovitz, the legs look pretty fresh.
Yeah, he's looking. No, we saw him wince there.
Still not quite right,
Yeah,
but Twale running on Goulet. Twale still keeping it. Here's Pacella. Looking for Ibra, but it took a deflection off of Adamu.
And that's a great tackle, from Pacella. That's a good tackle.
Kind of the Daniel Pacella special right there. Two goals for the Green, a penalty kick for O'Neal. Leibovitz converting a breakaway in which Sebi Gebhardt starred. Pacella.
That's going to be a yellow.
Yeah, Jose Utah.
No. Okay, there we go. There's the yellow.
Quite literally tackled.
Very cynical foul from there.
That is... I would say an American football tackle.
Sure, yeah. Flag football.
Daniel Pacella playing safety. Kane. Sakande. Wanja back for Sakande.
Just curious if Wanda could have taken one of those, little flicks with the outside of his foot or inside, chop it inside, because he had a player out wide from there, but now Simeon's here.
Simi the step, and he does well to get in the way of the pass from Wanja. Utah just drew that yellow card on Pacella. Comes to pick it up. And again, there's Simi. Drexler had to be careful with Rickson Aristilda looming.
Ooh.
The pass from Wickham, a low one. Whenever the goalie hits that pass and it's on the turf, you're heart to mouth.
Right in the middle of the field, too. He's like, I hope you know exactly where you're going with that.
That's well worked from pressure by the Green. Simi has room to advance. Mo Ibra. His eyes are always up, able to find Leibovitz. O'Neal with his heels on the touchline. Bit too fancy there, and it's well tackled by Tabi. Kane trying to keep it from O'Neal. And the central midfielder did well to hold it up. Sprays it Canusi. That's a veteran move by Simi.
Yeah, and he hasn't beaten Simi, and I don't think, as far as I can recall, once this time. It's just a physical matchup that's just not in his favor.
Well, Vermont Catamount fans are going to be licking their chops at the thought of Simi and Sebi Gebhardt playing on the back line together.
Yeah, I can't wait for the fall.
Zach Barrett returning. Max Murray's a big-time defender who's previously starred for Seacoast United. Now he and Barrett playing together at FC Motown. Potentially, Matt, that might be the team that Vermont Green face in the play-in of the playoffs.
That'd be really interesting.
In the Metro Division. How about that from Ibra? And the youngster keeps it.
I remember when Murray was playing that it was almost every single time there was a corner kick, you knew that it was going to go right to his head on the far post, and he was going to slam it right back in towards the 6 box.
Twally hungry for a goal against his former club. Yeah, you're right, Matt. It's probably pleasant for any Green fan to know that they won't have to deal with Murray in the regular season, perhaps in the round of 32 or the play-in.
Something to watch for if we do match up.
Tage Healy, though, still firmly a part of the Phantoms. I hate to break it to all the Green fans.
Is what it is.
He's been one of the best players at the USL 2 level, really since he was a teenager, Tage Healy. Now chance for Laurent again through Canusi. Drexler did well to manage Aristilda. He and Fisher, I would say Drexler and Fisher have, for the most part, been all over Aristilda.
Yeah, they haven't looked fussed either. You know, every attack that's come to them, they're reading it correctly just to time their tackles for it. You're not seeing them have to dive to ground or do these last-ditch tackles for it. They're reading it, and then they're making a clean tackle. And it seems like the energy has just kind of died down a little bit in the last 10 minutes for it. And that's, understandable. I understand that it's a friendly for it. So, maybe everyone's trying to get to kind of halftime, regroup. Maybe we'll see some changes from it. I just think now it's kind of everyone's just trying to find almost, potentially that perfect pass from there. There's a little lack of intensity, so you're starting to see a little bit more safer passes,
Yeah, I would agree. Just not necessarily waning energy, but for a moment it's died down. Wanja picks it up immediately, looking through for Yuta. Josue Yuta tries to get to his right foot. Fisher the brick wall. Now Yuta turns the corner but loses it. And you can hear Fisher belting from up here.
It's getting right in his ear, too. He loves to put a player mentally off. He knows that that's going to frustrate him, too. The dark arts. Holds him up the whole time, and taking a look at this replay for it, you can see him. He's so pumped about it. You love that. You love to see that out of your defender, your center back.
Even in a friendly, there's something about that just
does not switch off. Doesn't matter. He could be playing chess.
It does seem that way, right?
Yeah.
He's playing chess, he checkmates you, he's going to stand up and yell in your face.
I feel like if he's playing Wii tennis and he gets you, he's going to throw the controller.
It has not mattered the competition for Reed Fisher. He has been up for it all year. This is well done.
Nice
Ibra.
touch from Ibra there.
Twale, Leibovitz has another!
And it looks like he's going to be on sides, too.
He might be a bit banged up, but Leibovitz, a first half brace. The Maple Man.
And we had just noticed that there was a little bit of a drop-off in that intensity in the match from there. And, You could kind of see it from both sides. I thought that they were both just kind of trying to keep possession a little bit. You saw Laurent was trying to get that first goal for their side, but then what a touch, from Ibra to put in Twali and then Twali to find Leibovitz here. And Leibovitz, credit to him for being in the right place.
He might have picked up a knock earlier, but Jacob Leibovitz.
I'll score injured. I don't care.
A couple of goals on his day. You're right, though. That was all Ibra and Twali.
Yeah. And I had just been thinking I kind of hadn't seen Ibra on the ball, really being able to create. He was kind of trying to press and win the ball back, but I wanted to see him a little bit more with some time on the ball to see what he can create. And it's just those little flicks, those little touches, those one touches. If you can do those, you can pull those off. I mean, it can break the defense really easily.
It has been all Vermont Green FC in this opening 45 minutes of the inaugural Maple Cup.
Now, what type of maple syrup is it? Is it dark? Is it a red tone to it? Is it a golden maple syrup?
Is it Vermont or Canadian maple syrup?
I want to know
is the
what
other
kind
question.
of maple syrup. Yeah, it better be Vermont maple syrup.
I suppose if next year's is hosted in Montreal, then they can use their maple syrup the following year.
I'm curious if theirs has a different color, like ours is maybe like a dark, deep red-brown or something, and theirs is a little bit more golden.
Jaheim Wickham wearing the deep maple orangish red color kit in net today. Wanja.
Oh.
And the flag goes up as Canusi got a half a step. Called for offsides. And Wickham's going to come over and take this. Just some note on Wickham. Against Pathfinder FC, he got sent off for a red card. Vermont Green finished that game down to 10 men. It was a bit of a tangle in the box. It was a game that, by all accounts, completely bonkers. Pathfinder had already gone down to 10 men. Wickham called for a red as he and a Pathfinder attacker got tangled. That has actually been rescinded by the league. Upon video review, they've reduced that to a yellow card for Wickham.
I did not realize that could actually happen in the USL too, that they would review those.
They apparently did. That was the word. And offsides as Wickham does play the ball on a bounce, but flag up once again, making the run in behind was Utah.
I'm going to assume this will probably be the last kick of this half.
We have played the full 45. And Wickham with the ball riding that breeze.
In a terrible place for a throw-in.
Talk about playing chess.
Yeah.
And Canusi unable to keep that in play, a poor touch. And Green will have a throw-in the attacking end. So with the O'Neill penalty kick, 2 Leibovitz goals, Vermont are really tasting the maple syrup at halftime. Forget orange slices. They want some pancakes.
It was odd, it was poor marking from Laurent there, and I understand that it's getting towards halftime from there, but it's, that's kind of like that lack of intensity. You're seeing a lot of players walking around, shoulders are a little bit down, hands are a little too low. You can see it in the body language.
Goulet again trying to launch it deep. His target was Utah. Aristilda gets the return pass from Wanja. And Aristilda into the path of Tabi. Chance perhaps for Laurent to the back posts. Simi lets it run. Canusi. Sakande and Canusi. Minchillo's in the area as well, trying to link up, but it's back to Sakande. And still play continues in the opening half. Wanja. Thrown towards Wickham, and he scoops it on the bounce.
And that'll be the last kick of the first half.
45 minutes down, Vermont Green FC dominant on the scoreboard. Maybe hasn't always felt that way, Matt, but a really solid opening half from Vermont.
Yeah, I think they've had the edge. I think just enough from there, especially just that extra bit of quality, going towards goal. Outside of that, it has kind of been a little bit back and forth. Nobody's put together necessarily like 6-7 passes for a shot towards a shot on goal from there. But outside of, the scoreline doesn't completely reflect what I would assume is, 3-0.
But the Green have been opportunistic, and they'll head to the halftime locker room with a 3-0 lead. In the inaugural Maple Cup, Vermont Green FC leading CS Saint-Laurent. We'll be back for the second half with more Vermont Green FC soccer.
The sauce.
I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I made the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
I am the sauce.
Who brought the sauce?
I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I got the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
Human nature is a master at making a big mess. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th generation Safer Choice certified dish formula helps remove stuck-on food with one unstoppable pack. That's the power of 7th generation.
I work at Suncommon, and we are here today in Worcester on the north branch of the Winooski River, and we are planting 1,122 trees today.
The pandemic has left us spending less time together, and so this is really a good opportunity to connect with old colleagues and meet new people as well. And one of the reasons we're planting trees is because it does sequester carbon. It is about climate action, and so this is just another way that we get to do that work.
Trees are really, really important wildlife habitat in river areas. So this is what we call a riparian forest buffer is what we're creating today. In addition to all the wildlife habitats, this is a really good water quality project to slow down water and let some sediment drop out before it gets to the river. I know that planting this one tree might not do a lot, but when all of us work together, we just planted a whole forest, basically. It's really, really, really cool.
This is the first adaptive friendly trail network that's being built from design to execution. Suncommon volunteers are here tonight, as well as some new volunteers from all around.
If you make a trail that rides well for an adaptive bike, it's going to ride well for two-wheeled bikes as well.
My name is Greg Durso, and I'm riding the Reactive Adaptations Hammerhead. There's a lot of common misconceptions when it comes to what adaptive or accessible trails are. For us though, when we say accessible, it just means enough room for our bikes to get down it. So we don't want our trails dumbed down, we just want them just a little bit wider, a little bit more attainable for us to use. I'm paralyzed, I'm a T4 paraplegic, so I can't walk. So this bike enables me to get out there and start riding. When I get out of my wheelchair and I get into my bike, I kind of feel like Superman, and I love that feeling. It gets me into places that I can never get into that my wheelchair can't take me.
Suncommon has been an amazing partner in this project. We already surpassed the point that we thought we would reach by the end of the season, and a lot of that's just thanks to Suncommon.
It takes a community, it takes a lot of people to be out there, and you're really doing good for everyone. You're sustaining these trails, making new trails, making mountain biking more accessible for everybody.
The goal here is net zero, so all of the energy consumed here I want to come from the roof, and I chose Suncommon very specifically. This is just a smarter way to buy energy. All my yard equipment is electric and battery operated. I mean, every morning when I come out now, I look back and I go, yep, that sunlight is falling from the sky and that energy is being put into that car as we speak, which, I don't know, doesn't get much cooler. Riding on sunshine.
The beauty of grass is that you have to look at it as every blade of grass being a solar panel. And that grass is absorbing sun's energy the entire time there's sun out.
Being a small farm, we don't have the scale of cash flows that a lot of larger farms have. So for us to be able to stay in business, it's important that we're able to utilize every one of our spaces as efficiently and as profitably as we can. Our rooftops were something that really hadn't served us any purpose, but now that they can actually produce the amount of electricity that we need to run the farm, it was a no-brainer. Dairy is something that I can firmly stand behind. I believe that it is very nutritious, very good for you, and done right, I believe that it's also good for the environment.
I think we're at the point now that it'd be crazy not to have solar. When we decided that we were going to use a commercial company instead of doing it ourselves, which was an option, I did research on SunCommon, because I don't know that I trust lots of solar power companies. And it's a big project. There's so many things that can go wrong. I wanted a company that I felt good about.
We're filming.
We understand what local issues are.
Other credit unions might offer like the VHFA and the Champlain Housing Trust, but it's cool that we have our own product.
It's called home ownership made easier. It essentially gets somebody into a house who does not have a down payment. There's a lot of lenders who are not willing to take a look at the type of transactions that are going in there. But the fact is Vermonters live in those communities.
Every second, Vermonters spend $20 with Amazon. That's $20 going to someone you don't know and will never meet. You are just an order number to Amazon. $20 every second. That means every minute, Vermonters are spending $1,100 with Amazon. You might as well throw it in the trash. It's time to change. Let's keep this $1,100 in our Vermont economy. Mighty is an online shopping platform that keeps money in the local community. You order things, it comes from independent retailers nearby, it's dropped to your doorstep. Together, we can change online shopping for good. Visit Mighty, MYTI.com to get started.
You can make progress by doing the things you love.
If you can farm, fight food deserts. If you can surf, surf for racial justice. Like to read? Start a banned book club. Protest with an ice cream cone, or project new meaning on an outdated statue. Get in a costume, but try not to get arrested. You have the tools for doing good, and the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
Make some mother truckin' change.
Human nature's ability to contain itself is questionable. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th Generation's bio-based detergent goes deep to help break apart and wash away tough stains. That's the power of 7th Generation. human nature's ability to contain itself is questionable. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th Generation's bio-based detergent goes deep to help break apart and wash away tough stains. That's the power of 7th Generation.
Vermont Green FC 3, CS Saint-Laurent 0. The Maple Cup halfway done. Brian McLaughlin, Matt Montel here. Matt, a half that featured some chances both ways, but Vermont really generated the best of them. Xavi O'Neal starting things off, just explosiveness to earn a penalty.
Yeah, I think, like we said earlier, that Vermont has just been a little bit more clinical in front of goal, and obviously, looking at the scoreline from there, but it's not been for a lack of a couple different chances, some of them dangerous, and we saw Montevelli, coming in and getting that goal that was ultimately ruled offsides, and it was correct, but that's something that, just to be mindful moving forward, and especially now that they're down 3-0, they're going to try to go for it as hard as they probably can, especially since it's a friendly. What's the point? What's the difference between potentially losing, 4-0, 5-0 versus 3-0? It means nothing at this point.
And then the Green continued to generate things. O'Neal ends up scoring on the penalty kick, but this is Sebi Gebhardt on the break. Jacob Leibovitz gets his first.
Yeah, and it's really well taken. A good touch with the outside of his right foot, and then a really hammered finish from him.
Leibovitz would not be done. It's his first goal of 2 on the day. And again, just one little moment where felt like the Laurent defense maybe took their foot off the gas and the Green capitalized.
And then here this was again. Really, I had to give so much credit to Ibra, though. That initial flick that put Twali on, and then Twali to actually have the composure to look across and find Leibovitz instead of, potentially taking a shot.
So Leibovitz with a first half brace. Looks like, as we kind of theorized, he's out at the start of the second half. Big time changes coming for the visitors. I'm going to try my best to update you on who's coming in and out, but there could be as many as 7, 8+ changes for CS Saint-Laurent as we begin the second half. For Vermont Green FC, Theo Drennan is checking in. Carlos Zambrano is checking in. Looks like Drennan and Zambrano will be the two who come on for the Green. Everybody else remaining with Ibra, Twali, and O'Neal back out there. Drennan, who plays in a midfielder capacity, I think is on for Daniel Pacella, who picked up a first half yellow.
And yeah, I think so. Are we going to be seeing Zambrano coming up top, or do you think he's going to be potentially playing for the 10? We'll see.
We will see. Yeah. I'm curious to see that as well. Really, it's
rotate.
4 guys that all have been in the attacking midfield. I'll be interested to see who ends up slotting in at the top of the formation for the Green.
All similar characteristics and playing style.
Drennan, a like-for-like change, though, with Pacella. He started his career at Virginia Tech. Now the 19-year-old transferring to where else but VCU. It really feels like this Vermont Green FC side filled with players from Virginia Commonwealth University. Drennan, who has made 1 league appearance. He picked up a yellow in his prior moment with the Green. Will be on in the friendly of this Maple Cup. First ever meeting between the side from Montreal, CS Saint-Laurent, and Vermont Green FC. And I can tell you a couple changes I've already seen for the visitors. Looks like they are keeping the starter, though, Peter Scucciamari in net. I believe I still see Mamadou Kane in the midfield. But I spot next to him Bodrick Nancha. Can also see, Tarek Gamroui. And others. I mean, I'm going to try my best to get you all those changes coming for the visitors as we have them. But it's turned into an outstanding night for the fans, for the players. At least everybody wearing a green uniform today has sure enjoyed themselves.
Perfect weather for soccer. Nice little breeze. The sun's out, but you got the breeze to cool you off.
So I'm seeing both Kane and Minchillo remaining out there. They partnered in the defensive midfield in the first half. That's almost a brand new entire back line and already looking more like a back 4 for Laurent. Sasha Deland along the back, as well as Nancha. I believe those are the 2 center backs.
It does look like Zambrano is going to be taking Leibovitz's place.
Samir Jeha is leading the line for the visitors. Kane has moved up in the formation. Gebhardt for the Green. 1-2ing nicely with Xavi. Those two have formed a good partnership. And now Gebhardt tried to get it all the way across towards Twali. And Drennan's first touch for Zambrano. We know Zambrano has a flair for the dramatic. And Kane trying to weave it through for Jeha. Drexler and Fisher there to work it off of him.
Good read from Fisher, though, especially, you know, whether it was intentional or not, getting that ball like to actually bounce off of the player.
Simi, he's enjoyed himself at left back today.
Yeah, he had a really good first half.
Zambrano, the Daytona State product, picks up the foul. He's headed to Syracuse in the fall. He'll be teammates there with Sam Layton, Jaheim Wickham. Gabe Threadgold, also a future Syracuse Orange. Gebhardt over the top for Xavi. Xavi with great speed, forcing the left back Gamrowi wide. This is Nancha. Away from Ibra and Gamrowi.
And again, good pressure from Green.
Gebhardt controls it with the help of Fisher. Combe stumbles ever so slightly. It's Enzo Vargas applying the pressure. So Vargas playing centrally along with Jeha. They've got Minchillo and Kane out wide. Looks like the defensive midfield is Kareem Awold-Sada sitting next to Saad Chauki. And I'm trying my best with these names, Matt. I think
You're doing a great job. I was just thinking, doing a great job.
A lot of French names that I think I got them cleared. I think I got them straightened away pregame, but I do apologize if I'm saying somebody's last name a bit incorrectly. Working hard to get everybody's name out there. I do think they've completely emptied their bench, though, Matt, which is pretty unique here.
Well, you can imagine there was probably some frustration from the coaching staff, you know, that it wasn't necessarily like a, you know, Green-dominated match. Yes, I would say the edge was definitely with Green, but it wasn't. There was chances for Laurent to actually, you know, get a goal in or potentially two. So, also considering that it's a friendly, it's time to rotate. There's no harm in it. You want to get everyone to get, you know, some time in.
The reigning division champions at the, again, Ligue 1 Quebec level. They're fighting for that same spot, so they've got plenty to play for in their own level as well.
Absolutely.
Great turn from Zambrano. He's called for the foul.
Oh.
And then he bumps into Delans.
I think he pulled him just a little bit, maybe. It's a little far away to see, but...
Zambrano, the 19-year-old, has been bright when he's featured for the Green. 1 goal in 4 league games, 2 starts. An All-American at Daytona State last season. And Drennan wins the throw off of Kane. Ibra surrounded, loses out to Chauki. Nice little run from Chauki, intervened by Gebhardt. Nifty turn from Ibra. And now Toilet. It's Zambrano holding it up. Toilet could see the idea.
Yeah, you could see the intention.
And now Combe does oblige for Nathan Simeon. He'll get there first. Simeon cuts onto his right. Toilet wants a goal against his former club. Toilet off the crossbar. So close.
And we've seen him take shots now with both his left and his right. I think his preferred foot is his right foot, but he seems to love to also, you know, take an attempt with his left.
That looks like a guy who's going to be featured for the Green throughout their stretch run of the season. When Toilet has been in the lineup, he has produced. Ibra caught and remains down. And now it's Kane who rips it from O'Neal, and Xavi stays on the turf. 2 of the Green midfielders felt they just got hacked. Tarek Gamrowi.
Well done from Comey. Oh, and it looks like a player has gone down without contact.
Oh,
that's not a good thing.
Not a good sign for the Laurent side.
He looks frustrated too.
I believe that is Tarek Gamrowi, the left back. He came in off the bench at halftime. Here's another look at Toilet's run in the meantime.
And that's got to be frustrating. I think it was the center back that was marking him there. He shouldn't be able to get that chance off.
Scuchamari got a piece of it. Meanwhile, O'Neal It's like he's getting just a word from the assistant referee. He's back to his feet.
I think I've seen 3 players go down in the span of 60 seconds like that.
Gamrui, again, the one who's remaining down and the one who's receiving the most concern.
You can see I think it's the assistant coach or part of their medical staff is saying he needs to be subbed off.
Here's a look at what sent Ibra to the ground.
It's good to see him back on his feet, though.
Gamrui is on his feet and moving. Polite applause from the Vermont Green FC fans.
His reaction kind of told me that it was something maybe he's been dealing with. Just frustrated that it pops back up.
I mean, he had just entered the game.
Right.
Sorry, I got that. That's Enzo Vargas, the one who had been down on the floor. My apologies. So it's Vargas who's on the side now for Laurent, and it looks like they will re-enter the starter on the attacking midfield, Canusi. He's at least headed towards the midfield touchline. Drexler, one touch nicely for Simeon. Simi hanging in the air, Zambrano.
Great switch from Simeon, though.
Zambrano's able to muscle it by Gamrui. Sebi Gebhardt. Zambrano wins it cleanly. Zambrano and Xavi.
That is all Zambrano's goal there.
Xavi knows it. He's pointing right to him. It's a brace for Xavi O'Neal, Matt, and that is as easy as they come.
And it looked as if, Zambrano was potentially going to lose it. Stayed tough. He won the ball back, flicks it on, makes the run, and then makes the tackle to win it again here. Great tackle. Got to time that just right, and then picks it out perfect for Xavi.
It was Nancha that was unable to rip the ball from Zambrano, and Zambrano will get the assist. He had an assist in the first friendly of the year for Vermont Green as well against Juba Star FC. Wow, what a challenge.
Yeah.
And the Green opportunistic again.
Yeah, I mean, how many? I haven't counted necessarily, but I don't think it's been more than 10 chances. So you've got 5 goals, and it's probably somewhere around 7 or 8.
Could really argue they've buried
definition of clinical.
3 of 4 big chances, maybe all 3. And I mean, that I wasn't even counting the penalty kick, but both of Leibovitz's goals were big chances created.
I mean, it's a good problem to have, but I wonder what Adam says sometimes at the end of the game. It's like, got to find something that we got to improve on, because right now you keep getting clean sheets. You're doing really well defensively. You've been clinical in front of net. I mean, there was, I guess, like the first 2 matches of the season where it was kind of we needed more goals.
More goals.
But
that's what you and I said.
Once they started coming, they didn't stop.
Xavi wants a hat trick, I think. It's Nancha who clangs it out. It's a corner kick. Xavi's slow to get up. Very bright 19-year-old. He is the man for Boston College. Of course, also Coach Pfeiffer's alma mater. Second time this half that Xavi's gone down.
He's been taking a couple hard challenges now in this second half for sure.
When you're tiptoeing around defenders like that, I suppose you have to be ready for a hack every now and then.
Especially if the opposition is already down 3-0 and they probably just got an absolute licking in the locker room. So
a variety of Green players continue to warm up on the near sideline. But in the meantime, Ibra with the left-footed outswinger. Reed Fisher forces the save from Scucciamari. Recycled with Ibra. Reed Fisher wants his first goal in the Green. He's begging for it at the back post. Drennan obliges.
You can see him. He's like, oh, that's stuck up in the sun.
Reed
Does
Fisher.
Fisher have feet?
We know he's got power.
So. Oh.
It's a goal kick. And even up by 4 goals, Reed
I thought
Fisher
that was a corner, yeah.
doesn't like the call. Another look at that save. That was a powerful header from Fisher. He's a weapon at that back post.
Uncontested, though.
Yeah.
It's got to be frustrating from the coaching staff perspective.
Chauki Kane dropping deeper, looking deep. It's brought down by Minchilla. Trying to get it to Jeha. Gebhardt's first time ball will be handled by DeLont. And he's fouled by Zambrano. First impressions of Gebhardt, Matt. I've seen him a lot in a Vermont uniform as a Vermont Catamount, but your first look at him in the green tonight.
I mean, I remember him from seeing him for UVM, and it looks like he's just kept those same standards up for green. So I was kind of surprised, actually, to not even see him so far, at that position. But like I said, this whole squad, there really isn't any much weaknesses anywhere.
Not a lot of drop-off. You could argue that there may be some second choices out there across the side tonight. Some of the big dogs, quote-unquote, Rodri, Musa and D.A. not in the starting lineup, Sam Layton, Yaniv Bazzini, Zach Zenge. A lot of the guys who've logged a lot of minutes, but the level sure has not felt like it's dropped.
Rodri especially, that's got to be really tough, that if that's the position you play and you've got a player like that in your squad, it's
and
like,
Sam Layton's been in his fine
good luck
form
on me
as
getting
any.
some playing time with.
O'Neal just a touch off sides. He strayed. Yeah, for the likes of Theo Drennan, a guy who's played at a pretty high level at Virginia Tech, just hasn't been able to crack a group of Layton. You've got Rodri, you've got Pachella, Musa and D.A. can play in the defensive midfield. That's a tough spot for this team to find anybody.
Well, I had posted on socials that goal from Layton, and I actually firmly believe it, that he's pretty much put in like a 7 or 8 out of 10 almost every single match that I've seen him play. And then you've got, Pachella and Rodri. It's like, it's really difficult to get in there.
Yeah, Pachella's a team captain, and that might be underratedly Musa and D.A.'s best spot.
Yeah.
How funny is that?
But he's just too good at center back, too.
Combe dances himself into trouble. Chauki gets rid of it. Kane.
Capitalize on this.
That pass behind the intended target, Danny Thuramine. Minchillo unable to control it. It's in play. Zambrano.
And that's just that tiny little lack of quality or lack of composure so far, just in front of goal.
Ibra, Xavi, Jan Twale might be in. Twale loses out to Nancha. Well, Twale, he's hungry against his former side. He gets it back. Jan Twale to his left foot, and Nancha does really well.
Yeah, well defended.
It's going to be a goal kick. Tried to play it quickly, Scucciamari. That was excellently done through the midfield.
Such a quick transition from Green, though. You could see that a lot of Laurent was already up, trying to get in closer into that final third of the field, and then within 2 passes, Green are already in 2v2.
Kane has found some space. Actually, no, sorry. This is Thuramine. Minchillo. There have been moments for Laurent, just not quite enough of them. Old Sada. Thuramine. Chauki. Coach asks him to switch. He does. Gamrowi. And Kane, an awkward one to handle for Nancha. The new center back duo, Nancha and Sasha Deland.
Good step from Simeon there.
You want to talk depth. Those wide back spots as deep as they get. Threadgold, Prego, Gebhardt could be down the right. You've got Simi, Castillo, Wind Shower have all played to high success levels down the left.
Right.
Gebhardt stepping, and it's pushed inward by Gamrowi. Zambrano. Gebhardt still going after it, ranging from his right back spot.
Good turn.
Drennan, an important tackle away from Minchillo.
And that's who you really don't want to see getting into space, is Minchillo.
Twale gets the first touch outside of the football. Zambrano laced it with his left. Good save from Scucciamari. What a hit.
And again, it's not good positioning from a defensive standpoint, because Zambrano kind of just jogged into that space and was able to have that shot after one touch.
Old Sada flicks it, Kane. Again, Drennan there defensively makes it difficult. Well done by Gamrowi to get it back from Xavi.
It's back and forth right now, back and forth.
Brought down by Thuramine. He's got room to provide a cross. There, Amin.
That's a good cross.
Wickham gets out and punches it. Falls nicely for Jaha.
That's better. That's better from Laurent there.
Samir Jaha gets a shot away from inside the 18. Now the green will issue a few more changes. Musa Ndiaye, of course, is going to check in. He just doesn't miss a match. But another look at the Jaha shot.
And you should be testing the keeper a little bit better, especially from that distance. But, you know, again, that's just that little lack of composure that we've seen from Laurent so far this match.
And it is the two center backs, Matt, that are coming out an hour shift for Reed Fisher and Sjodor Drexler. The Norwegian and the young American out for Mason McClendon and Musa Ndiaye.
What a luxury to be able to bring on Ndiaye. Then taking another look at this little flick on from Twale over to Zambrano. And I love that he just takes it one time. He didn't even take a touch. He just let it, you know, bobble and then takes it off the volley.
I love the flair that he adds and plays with.
He does have a flair, you're right.
He's the one who hit the back flip on his first goal.
Was that the chrome purple cleats that I pointed out?
You're right.
Where are those?
He's got gold cleats on tonight, Matt.
Well, he's justifying it right now.
So Gebhardt's actually moved to center back, showing some of his versatility. He'll play next to Ndiaye, and Mason McClendon will operate down the right. McClendon, the 23-year-olds, played both at Virginia Tech and Radford. That gets by Minchillo on the through ball from Chauki.
And I do think this wind is playing a little bit of a factor in just the way that the ball is moving for Laurent. You know, it's moving a little bit quicker forward when they're making their forward passes, or even if they're trying to play it over top. You know, you can see it looks a little bit better.
Simi. Combe. Here's Gebhardt. There you see him inside of now Mason McClendon. Good 1-2 there. McClendon is able to carry it with him. Big challenge there. With
I thought he won that clean.
Nansha and McClendon both go to ground. I thought he did as well, but it's a yellow card. And a booking. Issued for Bodrick Nansha.
I didn't see studs showing either.
Here's a look.
Yeah, let's take another. No, it seems like that's a good tackle. A little hard done by.
I would agree.
But that little passing sequence, we've seen that a lot where you see like maybe it's Chavi coming in, he comes wide, he's almost all the way on the touchline. And then you'll see the right back, McClendon in that instance, kind of cuts in a little bit, and it's just a little flat pass layoff, and then they take it forward.
How about that ball wide from Drennan, brought down by Zambrano. He's trying to get it towards Xavi, who's sitting on a hat trick. You're right, Gebhardt and O'Neill especially had perfected that 1-2.
Yeah, they had done it multiple times in the first half.
The new right back, McClendon. Ibra wants Simi to move forward. Happy to oblige. Simi, not quite right there. Pretty well defended down the left-hand side. Sada elects to go backwards. Scucciamari. DeLond. Fairmean backwards to DeLond again. He's able to work it towards Minchillo. The ball forward sails out.
You can see the run from the forward there too, and you can see the intention from it, but the technique just let him down a little bit.
The Green preparing a few more changes. Drennan.
Love that.
Mo Ibra. Gebhardt. One touch, Combe.
Oh, I love the turn.
Great turn, and now it's Twale.
Oh.
The former Laurent man, now in the green uniform, still hunting his first against his boyhood club. Now some trouble for Ndiaye as that wind really plays an impact, and Wickham and elects to just send it along the touch line for a throw. Might be even 3 changes coming for Vermont Green. Leading 4-0, they're bringing on 2 of their leading goal scorers on the year, Matt. That just seems unfair.
Have mercy.
Zach Zenge, and one of the league leaders in goals, Yaniv Bazzini's coming on.
That is mean.
Another look there at Twali, just couldn't quite control it.
Oh, that's not what you want to see as a defender, is Bazzini coming on when it's 4-0. But we'll take it.
Attacking-minded changes coming for the Green. Xavi's headed to the left-hand flank. Yaniv Bazzini is on. Zach Zenge is on. Jaheim Wickham out. And in for his Green debut in net, Leo Seidel.
Penny for Adam's thoughts, maybe. It's that he wants to keep those shooting boots hot. You've got the last really important 3 matches of the season. Wants to make sure that everyone's got their shooting boots.
So if I'm reading the formation right, Bazzini, his normal spot, the number 9. I think Zambrano is going to play the 10 with Zenge and O'Neill, his wingers. Yep. Ibra dropping deeper. As Zenge came on for Combe, it will be Ibra along with Drennan in the defensive midfield. So a different spot for Ibra. Also,
Ibra will probably be playing more of that attacking midfielder role. Although we've seen him put in a lot of tackles, winning the ball back a lot.
Drennan has done the same since entering at halftime. Falls for Kane. Kane squares up with Gebhardt. McClendon read the play well. And Zambrano. Can Xavi O'Neill rev his engine? He's got Bazzini and Zenge as fresh runners. And Zenge is making the run in behind. He's got Bazzini with him. Tries to back heel it to the Green leading score. Nancho was there to recover.
No need for a foul here. Look, everyone press in tight. Can you win the ball back quickly?
Jeha holds it up for now. Really well done.
Yeah, very well done.
Draws the foul. Chauki. Canusi. Back to Chauki. Nancho. Scucciamari's made some solid saves this half. Tipping that one chance for Twali off the bar. Handling a laser beam from Zambrano in addition. Well, Bazzini sitting on 11 goals, coming off a rare scoreless appearance.
It's too slow from Laurent there. You could see it was
Musa
easy for Green to be able to read that.
Scucciamari gets there before Zenge. Musa Ndiaye, an ear-to-ear grin. The center back went rampaging forward.
If you're going to play out of the back, though, Brian, you have to play quickly. It has to be 1-2 touch. Because otherwise, it's so easy, especially for a well-organized team like Green, for them to be able to read those passes and intercept them.
Played quickly out towards Canusi. Tries to get through McClendon. And away by Seidel.
That ball's going to hang up for Bazzini on those.
And Zambrano unlocking O'Neill. Bazzini, a great bit of hold-up play. Look at Zenge joining the mix. Xavi O'Neill in isolation. Xavi sitting on a hat trick, tried to carry it. Simeon's there to scoop it. And now the Green will pump the brakes. That was fun, seeing the Green fly forward for a moment.
And with this wind, that ball from the goalkeeper, you can see it just sat up perfect for like that number 9 position that Bazzini plays, where he loves to play with his back to goal, to come deep in, play it off of his chest, flick it on with his head, whichever. So got a feeling that's going to be on more than once tonight.
McClendon's turn to combine with Zenge. The Green are enjoying themselves. Zambrano gets it from Bazzini. Carlos Zambrano. Zenge on his left. Right into the heart of Scucciamari.
Good passage of play there to get the shot off.
Just feels like there's always an option for a Green man.
Yeah, really good positioning. Good movement off the ball. Everyone's, they're showing for the ball. They're taking those little steps to get available.
We talk a lot about such a short season. It's hard to get an understanding of a lot of that stuff. Could it be they're at the point in the year where there is a real common kind of
cohesion. Yeah.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
No, it's definitely like if it's going to develop and really show itself, like this is right around the time. You can kind of scratch and you did see that a little bit. You saw some draws, you saw some 1-0 wins. You're scratching a little bit to get that. Now it looks like everyone's kind of on the singing from the same hymn sheet.
Well, the Green sure are hoping they're firing on all cylinders.
They're going to need to be next match.
Seacoast United have probably the best attack in the league. Entered the night with 33 goals, equal to Western Massachusetts. Bazzini, what a touch! He goes to ground. Was he in the box?
Penalty. Yes, he was.
Penalty for the Green. Bazzini in behind and a red card.
Red card in a friendly.
Straight red.
I mean, it is literally last man. That is technically a red.
It's Bodrick Nancha.
We'll get another look at this soon. It looked like he had pulled him down a little bit by the arm.
Great touch here from Bazzini.
Gets in front of him, and he pulls down his left shoulder. It's a foul, and if he's the last man, especially on goal, that's a red card.
It's Bazzini's chance to make it 5.
It's going to be a long 17 and a half minutes for Laurent at this point.
He's got 11 goals on the season, 18 career goals in the Green across all competitions, including the U.S. Open Cup. 6 goals a year ago in his debut season, now 11 amongst the league leaders this year. Laurent will be a man short for those final 17 minutes and change. Peter Scucciamari has faced an onslaught today. It's Bazzini. You bet.
Just a little stutter step, driven home on the right side. Good penalty.
Did you expect anything else?
No.
The Green scoring machine, Yaniv Bazzini, rolls on. Well, if the idea was to keep him in form, easy way to do that right there.
I was going to say, you don't want your strikers getting cold at any point, so when they're hot, they're hot. You got to keep them playing.
You had mentioned that when he came on, it might be some of the idea. Let's get him some minutes, get him back out in front of goal. He was scoreless last time out, which has been rare for Bazzini this season.
Right.
So, right back on the score sheet, mission accomplished, Coach Pfeiffer.
And as I said, from the defender standpoint for Laurent, it's just that's the worst thing you could possibly see is seeing somebody like Bazzini in the USL2 right now with his record coming on. Give me a break.
This is not a rollover easy CS Saint-Laurent team.
No.
Again, they are the League One Quebec champions from a year ago. Earlier this year, they won a round against the professional team, the Halifax Wanderers. This is a team that have a real pedigree of success with this squad, with this team they're fielding today. This has just been an outstanding performance from the Green in many facets.
I would say it's been absolutely clinical from Green. They have not been missing any of their chances necessarily, maybe one or two.
J-Hop trying to turn the corner on Musa Ndiaye. And I'd have just as much luck turning the corner on Musa Ndiaye. No chance.
Money's on him to always win that race.
J-Ha showing good speed, does earn the corner to his credit. After some conversing, looks like it will be Saad Choki. Potentially a test here on Leo Seidel. The Boston College keeper just wrapped up his freshman year.
It's a good ball. It's a really good ball.
Seidel gets a piece of it just before Ndiaye.
I was going to say that in-swinger with a little bit of wind coming in, that thing's going to come in fast.
Looks like Nicholas Minchillo will head to the other corner flag to take. Might be the best chance for Laurent down the stretch. Now down a man. That one to the near post, and miscommunication from the Green. And Ndiaye
took it to the gut, I think.
A shot there as Drennan tried to get it clear.
I'll have another chance at it.
And this is going to give the green a chance to substitute. Ayub Leisure, midfielder from UConn, ready to come on. And it's Shavi O'Neal, who has an ear-to-ear grin on his trot to the sideline.
You wanted a hat trick.
Thinking that myself.
Yeah. Didn't know we had a Husky on the team.
Leisure, who scored 2 goals in the Vermont Green friendly against Juba Star. Leisure, international product, hometown of Derna, Libya. That's a short corner played, and it's volleyed just wide of the post. Goal kick. Looked like a good chance for Jeha.
Yeah, it's not a bad attempt. Watch out for the Seagull.
In this second half, the Green have pretty easily worked their way through the Laurent defense. Drennan, who's impressed in his limited time today.
Yeah, he's kept it simple. He hasn't given the ball away, carelessly from what I've seen.
Here he is again. Gebhardt. McClendon.
Good ball from McClendon.
Weighted
there.
nicely. This is Zenge towards Bazzini. He commits to it and just touches it wide. He thinks it took a touch.
Yeah, it seems that neither the assistant referee and the center ref both are having a conversation, but they agree that it's going to be a goal kick.
Here's a look. Should get a good angle here.
It takes a touch. No, yeah, that's a goal kick.
I think they got that right. Good work from our man Mitchell Thayer on camera down there. Great look at it. And Scucciamari belts it with the winds. Won by Drennan. Collected by Chauki.
Well done from Drennan there.
Silky by Ibra. Good tackle to win it back, though, from
Surrounded by
Laurent.
3 players, and this could be dangerous here.
Kane is in space. McClendon coming over to close him down. The Green do enough. Intercepted by Simi.
Just one too many touches. I wanted to see him maybe give that a little earlier with the outside of his foot.
And before this free kick for the Green, they will add another substitute to the mix. A debutante coming in, Rainer Asselman Chai. A midfielder from Brandeis College. Pretty good shift today from Mo Ibra. Doesn't end up on the scoreboard with the goal, but the youngster from VCU, again, has his moments.
Just farming VCU, huh?
That's pretty much the game plan, it would seem.
It's working.
Hey, Musa and DA, can you get all your friends to come and join us?
It's working.
Gatto, Gerardo Castillo. Of course, Siad Haji, the former VCU star. Something going on down in the Commonwealth.
Something's in the water.
Theo Drennan as well. Now I feel bad if I missed any of the VCU guys. There's a whole contingent of them. That's Lejar providing the pressure. Nicely done down the right. Looking for Minchillo. He'll get there first before Ndie as it tightropes the sideline. Nicholas Minchillo. As the Green try to hold their clean sheet.
Don't let that go through. Oh.
Kane, pump faking on McClendon, and there's Sebi Gebhardt. Towed backwards by Zenge, and to the feet, upside out. I'll take that. But Zenge is ever so slightly gotten offside. Wasn't by much. Good run from Chauki. Kane got it away from Zambrano. I'll take it back. Musa Ndie says thank you. Zambrano, flag staying down for Bazzini. He took a peek back at it, has Zange in the middle. He sets him up. Zach Zange! Good save. Scucciamario down to his left. Zange tried to rifle it by him at the near post.
I think maybe if he could have taken that maybe just one time, that would have, the keeper wouldn't have been able to get us set, but still a good attempt.
Gebhardt wins the ball. Chauki went to the ground. Zambrano couldn't keep it. He'll commit the foul as
frustration. Yeah.
Old Sada was the one who got there first. Two second-half goals for the Green. A red card against the visitors as well in tonight's friendly, with Bodrick Nancha dragging Yaniv Bazzini to the ground inside the penalty box. 2 penalty kick goals tonight for the Green and 3 from the run of play.
You know, I think reflecting on Bazzini and then remembering that first season with Bjorn Golfsson was just levels above, I think, for USL2. And it was clear because he was immediately pretty much, but physically he was an absolute force. He was just a Viking up top at that number 9 position. And they both share a lot of, the same characteristics, clinical finishing, very physical. But the one thing I think the difference is Bazzini seems to have just like this calmness about his game. He just never seems like put off. He's never screaming. He's never, getting really vocal or
the opposite of Reed Fisher in that way.
Exactly. Bjorn Golfsson would really, he had it all, and his attitude would kind of fire everyone up. And I think we talked about maybe that was kind of like that tenacity that we remember from the first season versus this is a little bit more of a calmer, more measured team that we're seeing right now. How
much of that could be from the captains? Musa and D.A., Daniel Pacella, They don't seem like they're really that fiery type.
No, and you don't have to be. I mean, Their quality speaks for itself. So it's a difference in types of personality, and I think maybe just that first season we had a lot of tenacious players.
This is Lajar from Zange. Ayub Lajar, great move to his left. Lajar cross gets just by Bazzini. Zange will get there first. Good run from Lajar.
Looking to be the third person with a brace tonight.
2 goals each for O'Neill and Leibovitz. Bazzini has 1. Osselman, Chai, Drennan, Zambrano.
Zambrano turns well.
Could see the thought there towards Zange, intercepted by Aoki.
Can't get a leg to it. Zambrano battles for it again.
McClendon. McClendon tried to whip it across. He'll shield it for a corner.
Well done. I do like that they, it isn't a blind cross if they seem to get down into that corner and just try to whip it in. They try to measure and really create really good chances.
And now another change for the visitors prior to this corner coming for Zange. A return to the lineup for Obang Tabi, who came out at halftime. He will replace the midfielder Mamadou Kane, who has worked hard all day. Zach Zange, the Georgetown Hoya.
That's a good ball.
Deep towards Ndie.
Jumped maybe just a little too late or a little too early, sorry.
He's ruining his chance there, looking skyward after missing it. We're just not quite getting it right. He got a piece. Drennan. Good vision to find Zange. And Bazzini. Yaniv Bazzini. Great save. Scucciamari denies Bazzini of a brace.
Great save. I was almost sure that was going to be going in on that far post.
How many times this year has Bazzini had a chance like that and not buried it? It's pretty few. Zambrano.
Good tackle.
Tabi came in, the man fresh off the bench.
Ooh,
Chauki.
nice turn.
Physical play by the Green. McClendon has it back. He's given room to carry. Swings it wide for Lejar. Ayub Lajar, that's another solid challenge. Falls to the feet of Saeed Chowki.
Easily read, though, from Gebhardt there.
He
Well
just
picked
has
out.
such a great feel. Zambrano goes down with the scream, but clean challenge from Obang Tabi, according to center ref.
At least from what we could see. It seems like he took a stomp, but it was hard to tell.
Zambrano goes to ground, saying
And
he
we're
got
going to take another
crunched.
look at this. Oh, this is the Bazzini attempt here.
Nice save. That's his weaker foot, Yaniv Bazzini. There's the brain trust, Chris Taylor, Adam Pfeiffer. Just making sure that Carlos Zambrano's okay. He is back to his feet. That's good news. Predictable from Lajar, but Minchillo couldn't find anyone with the back heel.
Well done from Drennan there. Oh, ball got just a little stuck under him.
Chauki got it from Zengek. Bazzini leads the press. Delands. Delands keeps it from Bazzini, and Bazzini then knocks it out. And DA wins it back for the green, and Drennan relieves the pressure. What are you going to remember from this one tonight, Matt? Is it just the level of play for Vermont, the goals they've scored? What's the takeaways?
I would say definitely the level of play, but I'd say how clinical they've been in front of net when they've had chances. I think we're probably up around like 10 different chances now, and we're sitting at 5-0. I would say that's very, very good stats to be having, within the 90 minutes.
Bazzini ever so slightly offside from Zambrano.
Crisp passing, good little passages of play. Nice movement off the ball. It's just a very well-rounded, win.
Might be a few moments of extra time added. The green headed towards the inaugural Maple Cup victory, Matt, which I know is something that they'll be quite pleased to walk away with and celebrate in front of their home fans, lifting that beautiful Maple Wood Cup. Zambrano and company want more, but he splits the difference between Bazzini and Zengek.
Behind him. And Saint-Laurent themselves in the green territory.
1 minute of stoppage time officially. Man of the match pick? Who gets to chug out of that Maple Cup first?
Oh, that's a great question.
Or do they pour the maple in, dump it on Coach Pfeiffer? What do we think's going on there?
I really totally thought of it, but I want to say Colby, for the time that he was in, I thought he was just everywhere. I thought he was on the ball everywhere. I would say also Twally definitely has a big shout for it.
O'Neal with his brace, you could argue, is in there too. He's the one who drew the penalty and then took it.
It's going to be tough. I think we'll give it to O'Neal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could agree with any of those picks.
Yeah. I just thought Comby had a really, really all-around great match.
He was everywhere.
I thought he had
Zambrano wants in on it. Deflects into the arms of Scucciamari. A fun night, though, overall. Some of the stress of a league game never really was in this one, you could say. Even in the early moments when both teams had scoring chances.
Yeah, I think we're all aware that Laurent have a higher quality than this, and I think maybe it's the occasion that it's a friendly, and also those goals kind of just like absolutely deflated them a little bit. So they, maybe try to take a little bit more liberties moving forward, opened up some more gaps, had the wind at the back for Vermont in that first half. So that ball over the top, or even that ball whipped on the ground, it carries it just a little bit faster. It just Vermont was clinical the whole time.
A clinical win indeed, 5-0 the final, and Vermont Green FC win the inaugural Maple Cup. They will hoist the trophy for its first time in existence. The fans are loving it. Just a solid performance end to end. They get their clean sheet.
And the perfect match, honestly, to have a friendly like this, where there was no injuries necessarily. Maybe Leibovitz has something that he's going to be carrying just a little bit, but outside of that, there wasn't anything too nasty tonight. Some good goals scored, some good passage of play. Everyone looked like they were singing from the same hymn sheet. Now leading into the Seacoast match, that's important. This is picture perfect.
It's Seacoast United coming up this Sunday, 2 p.m. start. Matt, I know we'll be excited for that one, and we'll keep it here for another moment as the Green get prepared to hoist the Maple Cup trophy. Just as far as that match with Seacoast Sunday, can we allow our minds to start leaking that way? Can we start to think about what that one might look like?
I'd say enjoy right now the occasion, enjoy that trophy, and then maybe tomorrow get some breakfast and start thinking about it. Start analyzing how you're going to approach this match, because it's going to come fast.
It's all celebrations today for the Greens. Sunday it will be game on, with potentially a playoff spot somewhat on the line with 3 matches remaining in the regular season. Good to see this, though, on the field post-game. A true spirit of the friendly. Handshakes all around between these two clubs, separated by 75 miles. Both of them still very young in tenure and young at their level, with two teams that have had pretty excellent success.
Yeah, you can see there's a good respect and friendship, between the two teams, the two clubs, and obviously, Vermont having 2 players, former players from Laurent, and who knows, may go the other way at some point. So it's good to have these type of relationships, especially with your close neighbors.
Manager and sporting director Adam Pfeiffer shaking the hands, and there are the Green fans and players celebrating together. Another look at Bazzini's penalty as he scored his 19th in a Green uniform, Yaniv Bazzini. And the Green are Cup champions. Who are they going to give man of the match to? Oh, looks like the youngster Mo Ibra gets the honor tonight.
Ibra gets it, okay.
So Ibra man of the match, the Maple man of the match on this Maple Cup evening. The 18-year-olds downs the maple syrup. There's the Maple Cup. Vermont Green own it for the first time. The Maple Cup goes to the Green. That's going to do it for us tonight. For our entire outstanding production team, Matt Montel, I'm Brian McLaughlin. Sunday at 2 p.m. right here, Virtue Field, Vermont Green FC and Seacoast United. Don't miss it. But in the meantime, Vermont Green FC, Maple Cup champions.
Time he goes to the locker room. Take a sip, Adela. Thank you for reading the boys. Out of one, Mohammed. You're all getting diabetes. And let's give another warm Vermont Green round of applause to our friends to the north. Fantastic competitors, CS Saint-Laurent! Let's do this again next year, boys. And the cup still going round.